This video clip is part of the EPFL introductory course on information, computing, and communication. It is the second in a series of video clips on computer security. In this second clip about information security, we will underline the increasingly acute problem of protecting the privacy of personal information. We take the opportunity of this video clip to alert you to the sensitive issue of privacy protection. Privacy protection is about ensuring the confidentiality of specific personal information, often referred to as PI. PI, personal information, is what makes up our personal identity. As depicted on this slide, anyone's identity has a number of facets. Beyond our own characteristic features, each of us is a citizen of one or more countries, a resident of some country, an employee or owner of some organization, a consumer of various goods and services, the author of many actions in and outside the IT world, and unfortunately sometimes the patient of a doctor or the client of a lawyer. All of these things make up our personality and are part of our identity. While any such facet may be legitimately known to some party, such as, for instance, our doctor or our lawyer, very bad things could result if all facets became known to everyone. For instance, our employer could dismiss us upon learning that we suffer from some serious medical condition. Privacy protection is not about hiding facets of our identity that could be thought of as guilty or shameful. However, it is about isolating the different facets of our identity so that they're not all public. Between holding people accountable for any immoral behavior and protecting their privacy, there is, of course, a very fine line, calling for a thin balance between accountability and confidentiality of private information. More generally, what is at stake behind our privacy is our entire reputation, which is something that takes ages to build up but can be destroyed in seconds upon the revelation of sensitive private information. The confidentiality of private information is protected by so-called obligations upon anyone who receives such private information. For instance, the banking secret, the medical secret, the legal secret are all such obligations. The trouble is that while a number of professions, such as bankers, doctors, lawyers, are regulated by such obligations, many more are not, especially in the computer world. Many people are pretty careless about giving out or posting their private information until someday they realize that they lost, but it is too late to put the worms back into the can and close it again. The problem comes from the fact that today on the internet, more and more private information gets collected, stored and copied over and over again, including on backup copies that will never be needed but are never destroyed either, exchanged with uncontrolled or even unauthorized parties, retrieved and correlated across supposedly isolated websites, even if our name has been removed from it, and eventually published in places where we would prefer not to see it. This is typically done by unscrupulous third parties whose business model is to sell our privacy, and who, in the absence of any legal obligations, promise to protect our privacy according to rules that nobody ever cares to read, as they are anyway boring or so fuzzy and misleading that we would not understand them, not to speak of verifying compliance with them. For instance, many enterprises who collect our private information feel good about offering us the choice to opt out to stop them from collecting or using it, when in fact these same enterprises should by default not collect and use anything and offer us the choice to explicitly opt in to authorize such collection and usage. Therefore, you're strongly advised and encouraged to watch out for your own deeds on the computer world, on the internet. Especially beware of anything that sounds too good to be true. In particular, free services on the internet are usually free because their merchandise is not what you get from them, but it is your privacy, which they sell to others. So stay away from them or browse in private mode to prevent your browser from leaving traces that can be collected.